Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wrestleview Post Raw number 77, take 2. I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Welcome to the show. We have a lot to talk about tonight. I know we do, because there's a couple of there's been a lot of news that's happened through the week. It's been a big week for us. Number one, obviously holiday weekend. We had our Easter. I've been involved with my with my church, since everything is canceled and there's nothing going on, helping my church live stream all services, creating videos to keep the parishioners connected with everybody. So I've actually been just totally, I took a step back for 4 days from Wrestleview. It was really, really great to kind of just take a step back. Jerome Weiland did a tremendous job covering all the news for Wrestleview. Absolutely killed it. We have a lot of news that Victoria and I have to talk about tonight. There's a couple of opinions that we have to give on some of the news that has come out. Not all of it. Very positive.
No, absolutely. I want to say thank you to Jerome as well, because it's such a relief to know that we can kind of have to, obviously you have other obligations and responsibilities, as Jerome does too. You know what I mean? But obviously for this particular week being Easter week with Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Vigil, and then Easter Sunday, you had a lot to do. Yeah. And Jerome just seamlessly did everything for Wrestleview, and it worked out perfectly. He didn't skip a beat, honestly. And it was just, it's like I said, it's great teamwork always on wrestleview.com.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got
everyone's always there for each other. If someone can't do a recap, Doug's there, And
I got to say, Dougie helped us out big time.
Yes,
Victoria's
he did.
30th birthday.
Yes, he did.
Was on Wednesday, and even though it's probably one of the biggest NXT shows that's in some time, I was like, well, I can't recap a show on my wife's birthday. I called up Dougie,
and not my 30th birthday,
especially not her 30th birthday. 30th birthday in quarantine, by the way. I feel very bad for Victoria. For my 30th birthday, Victoria threw me a surprise party.
You know what, though? Honestly,
we did a couple surprises.
We did a really nice. We had a really nice day. We really did. It was the first. Well, we had steak for dinner that night, which was lovely. Mike made me the best. What was it? New York strip.
New York strip.
Wonderful. It was really, really good. And Mike's a really good cook, by the way.
Wow.
He threw a surprise Zoom party for my family, and did not know. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have I have to have a choir meeting on Zoom." And he's like, "Oh, have them see the baby." And then I come on with the baby, and it's my entire family, which was really nice. And then my other family came too, so which they came to surprise me. We did 6 feet apart, and they had signs that "Happy Birthday, Victoria," and it was awesome. It was really, really nice. And
it was a lot of fun.
And I was surprised. We were taking a walk, and then we come back, and all of a sudden they pull up in the car, and then they had the signs. It was really, really cute.
Yeah, we did it. And then Victoria got a nice little iPhone for her birthday. I will be celebrating my birthday in quarantine tomorrow as well. Oh, yeah, this Victoria's
at 12 o'clock.
Yes, at
we probably will be on the air.
We will probably be on the air for my birthday, which will be fun stuff.
Fun. Looking forward to your birthday.
Oh, no, hold on. We want to keep people watching our show, not drive them away.
Sorry.
Please. Thank you.
Sorry.
Let's say hello to everybody in the chat room before we get started here tonight. We, of course, our dear friend Nafis Sadat.
Hello, Nafis.
Is in the chat room. Happy belated birthday to Victoria, and happy early to Mike. Happy birthday to Victoria, and happy early birthday to Mike from Andrew Elder.
Hello,
Bobby Strauss in the chat room tonight. Good evening, all. Hope everyone is still somewhat sane during the quarantine. Much love, Tedesco fam. I love that. Michael Ryan. Michael Ryan. Good stuff. Michael Ryan says, glad we are risking the health and well-being of people to produce live shows like whatever the fuck we just saw for 3 hours. I don't know if it was that bad, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Quentin Walter is our dear friend in the chat room tonight. Happy belated birthday to Victoria. Did I say Andrew Elder yet? Yes, I did. Of
yes, you did.
Yes,
of course.
Mushoon Walls in the chat room. What's up, Tedesco and peeps? We have
What up?
Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou is Viraldi in the chat room tonight.
Hello, Sweet Lou.
Let's see. Well, we got Michael Jewell. We have Uncle Billy Hefner, who celebrated his birthday during WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, my God.
Also in quarantine.
I know. His 30th, too.
Nafis said he celebrated his birthday in March in quarantine as well.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Initiator in the chat room tonight.
Hello.
If I missed anybody, just let me know. We'll get there. Oh, wow. Andrew says, my 40th birthday is July. In quarantine, maybe or maybe not.
Oh,
Ooh,
man, I can't even say for sure, oh, yeah, we'll definitely be back by then. So
I don't know. Oh, Graham Costigan Cripps in the chat room tonight.
Hello.
Excellent. Daniel Shell sneaks into this room. Hello.
Hi, Daniel.
There he is. Damn it, Daniel. He was almost late, but he's here. Thank the Lord. Let's see. What the heck do we have going on here with the Raw poll tonight? 66 that's a 67% giving it the old thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Wow.
People like the show tonight.
That's really good.
That is good.
I thought I got to be honest with you. I thought I would have thought going forward that all these shows were going to get. I'm just saying, like, just in general, but
I know.
Just because of like the nature of what's happening in the world,
I know.
but it's nice. That's actually a pleasant surprise.
Well, there are things going on in the world that are a little questionable with professional wrestling right now.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about it. You know, there's a lot of things. You know, I couldn't do Wrestleview news on Saturday. I was just so super, super busy. I had to do 2 Easter videos. I had to set up the live stream. I was at church all day. And it was also Easter Vigil. You know, believe it or not, we're a religious family. We like to, we
yes.
took serious and celebrated, even though we couldn't be in church at the services.
We still held mass
we
here.
Still, you know, we did things here to pay homage to the days: Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Vigil, Easter Sunday. I just couldn't do Wrestleview news, and of course, it's like the weekend when there's like just a ton of news.
Is just like pouring out.
XFL goes out of business. WWE decided out of nowhere they were going to be taping a bunch of shows, like so Friday, and basically all through the weekend. Okay, and this is really the main story of the show tonight.
Yeah.
Really more than Raw. We're going to definitely get into Raw in a few minutes, but we want to talk about this first. And by the way, can everybody hear me properly tonight? I just want to make sure because I was using my soundboard all weekend, so I don't know if some of the settings got messed up or what.
I think the chat room's good if they can't hear. Yeah, they'll tell us.
Usually they let us know.
Usually they're
do
good.
Let us know. Yeah. So the main story of this show tonight is really just a kind of like a commentary on. Oh yeah, they're all happy. Daniel told me to scream into the microphone. Nah. You know, Daniel Shell, you know.
I love Daniel.
Me too. I can't.
Sorry.
I don't know if I love him. I don't know if I love him.
I love Daniel. You can't get me to say anything bad about Daniel. Sorry.
Okay. All right, well, I'll work on that. Anyway. And I also changed some settings on OBS tonight, so hopefully we don't lag.
All right, enough with your like.
I'm just saying.
Okay, enough with the details of
I've been
your
working hard
sound
like
system.
on technological aspects.
All right,
for this thing for a
again,
while.
if there's a problem, the chat room's really good about letting us know. So calm yourself.
Okay. Anyway, so on Friday they were going to tape 3 episodes of SmackDown and a couple episodes of Raw as well, probably all through the weekend. They probably weren't all going to do it in one day, but it was going to be through the weekend. And then abruptly, in the middle of the SmackDown taping that aired on Friday, Vince McMahon blew off all of those plans and said, we're going back to a live schedule. Now, obviously, there's, in the wake of COVID-19, you know, and there, so initially, when everything happened, you know, it was like Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, issued a stay-at-home order for Florida.
Right.
Right at the beginning of April. And it was like, okay, well, it goes into effect, you know, right before the SmackDown after WrestleMania takes place. And they were hoping, and they didn't have that show taped yet. So it was like, how are they going to tape this show? What's going to happen? WWE, you know, I think by the strict definition of what an essential service isn't an essential service. But today, Orange County Mayor Ron Demings came out and said that, yes, we were not considering WWE an essential service. But after talking with the governor's office, we have recalibrated what an essential service is. And WWE is now an essential service. So instead of taping a bunch of shows over the weekend and then sending these people home for like a month and coming back for when Money in the Bank is ready to go in early May, they're going to do a live show potentially 3 times a week. I don't know what's going on with NXT right now, but I know that Raw and SmackDown are definitely going to be live every week. Some of these guys and girls have families they got to go home to. They got to have older relatives that they're around a lot that maybe have a pre-existing condition. Some of them, like Roman Reigns, may even have, be more susceptible to the, COVID-19 really ravaging their body. So instead of taping a bunch of shows in a block and letting them go home, WWE is going to have them come out every week and do a live show on Monday and Friday. Now, when Daniel Bryan did WrestleMania, because Brie Bella is pregnant,
yes,
Daniel Bryan self-quarantined for 2 weeks after that in a hotel room. The Miz, obviously, he couldn't compete at WrestleMania because he was sick. It has not been confirmed that he has the coronavirus. Somebody had the coronavirus in WWE that has been confirmed also over the weekend. It is not an in-ring talent, but rather an on-air talent. So that kind of whittles it down to who it could be. I don't know. I don't have any confirmation as to what the identity of that individual. But Miz probably, I would say, he self-quarantined. There was like no postings of him and the girls for like 2 weeks after that.
Nope. Nothing for 2 weeks.
What the hell? It's just like, and I have the same thing with AEW. You could say whatever you want about AEW. At least they taped all of their shows. They have, from what I understand, they have about 2 months worth of stuff in the can, and that's what's going to be airing on Dynamite.
See, here's my thing.
What the hell's going on here? Oh, and I'll also, one more thing I want to say.
Sure.
I also reported on today that, and this is just like a whole bunch of stuff. It's just all just crazy news and stories. Apparently, the reasoning behind this is Fox and USA Network, their television contracts stipulate that WWE has to perform a set number of live shows per year, and USA Network reportedly can only allow 3 taped Raws. We don't know anything about the Fox deal, and that went into the decision because with WWE not doing live events, they are relying solely on their television money. And they don't want, and they're worried that, allegedly they're worried that if, they violate those terms, even though this isn't like literally an act of God. When we were in the band and we signed contracts to play shows, there was always a clause in there. And if by act of God, a hurricane, a rain, a snowstorm, something, you have to pay the band because it's not our fault that we can't perform. And we'll do everything we can to try to get there and perform. But if by an act of God, if it's unreasonable for us to get out there, we're not coming. Like, how does WWE not have that stipulated in a television contract? How are they not like on the phone with lawyers trying to call Fox and USA to see if they can get the terms kind of reworked a little bit to, for their employees, for their wrestlers who are independent contractors, and then they have the balls to put out a PSA with WWE and Ad Council teaming up for these PSAs to raise awareness of COVID-19 and then putting their superstars at risk, in a state with well over 20,000 infected individuals right now coming out there. What do you say about this?
Yeah, this is where you're gambling right now.
Oh, by the way, Goosey's in the chat room.
Hi,
Goosey, hope you're feeling better. Corey Howell in the chat room too. Sorry.
Hello.
Anthony Riley in the chat room.
Hello.
Man, Mickey's in the chat room.
Oh my God, everyone's
Ashley
here.
is in the chat room. Sorry, a bunch of people popped in while I was talking. Anyway, Victoria.
Hello.
Go on.
See, it's such a gamble. Initially, when you think that, when everything started coming out this weekend about them performing and going on with live shows, you think to yourself, like, what are you thinking? Like what triggered this decision all of a sudden? But then when the report came out today, as you just mentioned, about USA Network and Fox saying that in their contract they have to uphold to live shows and they can't exactly think that, whatever. But I agree with you wholeheartedly when you say, like, they should have had lawyers. They should have had whatever. Like, this is like a global pandemic. This isn't something that's just going to go away anytime soon. And it's not fair, regardless of a contract, for them to even uphold to that contract. Granted, you said because, like, an act of God, right? Like a storm or whatever. Fine.
Hell, a pandemic.
Pandemic is
act
under
of
that.
God.
Right. A pandemic, like, yeah, no one would ever think in a million years that, like, oh, you should have this in your contract of any kind if there's any type of a pandemic that takes a while off. This is like movie making stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
However, that's what I'm saying. I think I don't really know what to believe anymore, because I think there's a lot of shadiness going on and sketchiness. And do we really know if these networks are being specific to the contract or being whatever? Or is this the loophole for Vince McMahon to be like, no, we could still do live shows because he doesn't want to get sued by these networks?
I think Vince just wants to do live shows just because wants to do it.
I agree with you.
Because he's just, it's like Owen Hart dies in the ring. Show must go on. We don't cancel shows. We never cancel shows. It's like stubborn, pig-headed bullshit asshole stuff.
But that's what I'm talking about. I don't actually think that. I think if Vince really wanted to say, I'm not putting my superstars at risk, we are not performing live shows, you don't have a case. If they sued WWE for that, WWE would win. Let's face it. It is a pandemic. This isn't like, this is totally out of the realm of what could even happen this year, anybody expecting to happen this year. That is something that's a loophole of getting out of your contract. A global pandemic. I think Vince is trying to make it like, oh yeah, these networks really want me to whatever. No, that's not what's going on here. I think it was an excuse for him to kind of almost be like, now we got to uphold the contract. He wants to do live shows. He doesn't want to go to the trouble of taping them and having whatever. But again, you run the risk with all these superstars. Now they can't quarantine themselves. Now they can't be whatever. Now you just have yourself a rotation of whatever.
To me, it's honestly a question of now because they have to go out every week. It's not a question of if, but when.
Who's going to get it next?
Who's going to get it? Who's going to be asymptomatic and come into that building? They take their temperature, they go through the medical screening, and they pass, but they're asymptomatic. But when you're asymptomatic, you can still pass on the virus.
I personally think Miz had it. I do. I genuinely do believe that. I really think
we don't know that for sure.
We don't know that for sure. I personally think he did have it though. And that's why I'm saying there's a lot of shadiness going on right now, because Brie Bella, Daniel Bryan was supposedly home with Brie. Now he's nowhere to be seen. Right. Where is he?
And that's so unfair, because think about how long this thing could go on for. This isn't ending at April 30th. This isn't going to be over. It's not going to be over probably through May. June, maybe we start getting back to normal, whatever that is, and whatever that's going to be anymore.
Again, it's starting to get normal. We don't know what normal is, and you're just playing with so much fire. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
but we're playing with fire here.
Of course.
And I just find it totally irresponsible to put on a live show. I really, really do. I got to be honest with you. Even taping a show, I think that's partially irresponsible. Only because you're still having people come out. But if you tape a whole bunch of shows, at least you have the opportunity for people to quarantine for a month to be with their families before the next pay-per-view. Go ahead.
My big question is, when I was in a cover band, how the fuck does a lowly cover band, and look, I'm very proud of everything that we accomplished, and I'm proud mostly to be associated with some of the people that I played with. How did we have a better contract for acts of God than WWE does with billion-dollar companies on TV deals? How is this possible?
I'm being honest with you, though. I think very strongly if Vince approached them, they would not be resisting. I really don't think they would get backlash from WWE. I really don't. I think the companies would be like, no, we understand.
Well, think about what happened to UFC. Dana White was like fucking going crazy trying to think of like different harebrained asinine schemes to get to put on a fucking show, to put on a UFC show. Like he was going insane until ESPN and Disney were like, dude, this is creepy. This is fucking creepy. And UFC has a big contract with them. You got to stop. You got to stop.
Yep.
We're shutting this down. We're telling you,
saying.
do not put on a show. We don't want it. And he said, fine. He relented. Finally, the guy was ready to buy a private island to fly international people in because of the travel ban. Are you kidding me? Like he was going insane. It's like, yes, that's crazy. But here Vince is like, it's like the old saying, the old bullshit talks money, bullshit. What's the old saying?
I don't even know what the saying is, to be honest with you.
Money talks, bullshit walks. I'm like so crazy about this right now that I can't think. I'm thinking bullshit on this whole entire thing right now. To me, it seems like somebody in the governor's office got paid to let WWE be considered an essential service. And maybe,
you know what I personally think? Because Linda McMahon was part of,
Yes.
She may know somebody. Who the hell knows?
Of course.
Her connections.
They know a lot of people.
They know a lot of people. And think about it. Vince is very friendly with Trump.
Yes.
He is.
And obviously, the governor of Florida is Republican.
Mm-hmm.
He fought shutting the state down the entire way, which is like so crazily irresponsible.
I just find the whole thing to be just crazy to me. It's like Vince and his wackadoo ways. It's such a
bad look. To me, it's just like the worst kind of look. And not only that, but then again, this is a company that they take money from Saudi Arabia constantly. And again, it's not the people, it's their government. Their government is as crooked as the day is long. Killing their own family members to stay in power, killing reporters. Are you kidding me? You're condoning it, taking money from them.
And let's be real here. You're new to WWE. Somebody like Aleister Black and like Ricochet. And in the sense, I'm not saying they're new completely.
Yeah, they can't say no.
I'm not saying no to Vince McMahon.
Anybody can just tell us they're not comfortable and we're not going to hold it against them for future bookings. My ass.
Sorry.
Like Roman Reigns,
Roman Reigns is about the only one who can say something.
He's the only one who can, but they're not they're not putting him over right now.
No, but there's nobody on that roster that can say no and think that they're going to whatever, because Vince holds a grudge. He can hold a grudge. I mean, if you can make him money, he won't hold a grudge anymore.
No.
That's for sure.
If he thinks he can make money with you, he loves you.
But
this is, I don't know, like this is just like beyond
this is Vince
the realm.
Not taking it seriously. And you know what? Even for Vince,
because for those people that maybe so you would be off for 5 weeks. Let's just say that if they taped at the beginning of April, they could be off. They taped 4 shows, go through all of April. They could be off for 5 weeks potentially. Everybody comes back for Money in the Bank whenever that is, at the beginning of May.
Yeah.
For those people that have to self-quarantine, you have 2 weeks in the hotel room if you have to self-quarantine, for those that have a pregnant wife and stuff like that, or children at home, or whatever the situation is. You can self-quarantine for 2 weeks, and then you still have 3 weeks at home. Now, when are these people going to see their families? These are the questions that I have.
That's what I'm saying about Daniel
Bryan. And it's WWE puts out this bullshit statement that, we're woven into the fabric of Americana, and we're going to show everybody that we persevered. No one gives a shit whether the show's live or taped right now. Hardly anybody's watching. Seriously.
That's
like,
what I'm trying to understand, though.
That's the thing. Like, who cares if it's taped or not? There's nobody there.
See, that's what I'm
There's no spoilers that are going to come out.
That's what I'm saying.
Who cares?
I personally don't, I really genuinely don't think it's a network thing. I think if they're, you're not filming a live show, but I think if you're putting out a show, I think, you know what I think USA and Fox would have a problem with? I think they would have a problem if they were just doing reruns, old episodes. Like, if the show was mostly like past matches and things like that. I really don't think if they're like, listen, because of the circumstances, we're just going to tape our shows, but we're still producing shows for you just because of everything going on. I really genuinely think the networks would have been like, yeah, that's fine. As long as you're producing something.
Right.
I don't think, again, if they just said flat out, oh, we're not going to do anything, like we're not going to even tape the performances, maybe they would have had a problem with that. I mean, they'd still have a case because we're in a freaking global pandemic here. But I think it's just Vince being pig-headed. I really do. I really think he just doesn't get that this is like what's happening. And even for himself, he's in his freaking 70s.
He's in his 70s.
I mean, he's in good health, but still.
How about Jerry Lawler being at Raw tonight? Was
totally
that essential to have Jerry Lawler at 70 years old, driving from Tennessee to get down there? Are you kidding?
I don't know.
And he's going to do that every week now?
Who do you think
instead of just taping.
Who do you think the on-air talent is, by the way? Who has it?
I couldn't tell you. Like, I saw a report that said it wasn't Corey Graves or Carmella, but who really, who knows? It could be Sarah Schreiber. I'm trying to think of who wasn't there. Really.
Yeah,
was it the ring announcer?
True. I didn't even think about that either. Yeah, it's really hard to. Yeah, it is hard to kind of. You know who it isn't, basically, but you don't really know at this point.
Yeah, I know. It's tough to say, but we don't know. We do not know.
But imagine somebody telling you, though, this is a very anxious time, and your boss saying to you, yeah, you know what, we're going to go live going forward. We're not going to penalize you, though, if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I remember that conversation.
Right. I remember when they were doing those shows in Iraq, and they were like, anybody who doesn't want to go to the show in Iraq, who doesn't feel comfortable flying into an active war, you could just tell us now and back out. And Rob Van Dam was like, okay, I don't want to go. And it was like, fucking Rob Van Dam, pussy. He doesn't want to go. And they held it against him. They certainly did. Like that's bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. I would not want to be on the other end of that. It's like, me personally, I don't care how much money you're throwing at me or how much backlash I'm going to get or how much little support I'm going to get from it. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. That's just me personally, but I'm not in it.
I know.
This is where these people are in their lives, and they.
Ted Geek, who we haven't said hello to yet. Ted, how are you?
Hello.
He says the truth is we don't know what's going on behind the scenes of WWE and their TV contract. Yes, that is true. We don't. But what we're saying is, and yeah, it's maybe it's a weird example, but when I was in a cover band, it's like, we had stipulations in the contract, in every contract that we signed with every venue that we played at, through our agent, that if there was an act of God that prevented us from playing a show, you can't hold it against us. You still have to pay us. Like how is that not stipulated in a contract? But let's say WWE's in a town where a tornado just hit. Let's say they're in the Midwest.
This isn't a contract thing, though. This is more than just a contract.
I feel like it's not a contract thing either. I also feel like there's a lot of trouble in paradise here. That yes, the numbers have been great, but things aren't all of what they seem to be. The XFL folded this week. They declared bankruptcy today. Laid off all their employees last week. It is actually a shame because XFL was doing a great job.
I think it was,
and it kind of sucks. They did nothing wrong this time. They just happened to be having their first season in the middle of a pandemic. But Vince was personally financing this entire thing. He owned 100% of their Class A interests in their Class A stock, and he also owned like almost 75% of the Class B. The other 23.5% was owned by WWE itself. So he was financing this entire thing. And he's probably like, I can't keep losing money right now. Got to fold this thing. It's over. Like just abruptly ended. Everything's done. People are owed a lot of money. I think they're trying to find a new buyer for it, but good luck finding that. Like they need this TV money. There's no question about it. But my question is,
yes, go ahead.
How do they not have somebody on the phone trying to just restructure the deal a little bit? Like let's pretend that there isn't a clause in the contract for an act of God, which almost every single contract in the world has that clause in it. How do they not have people on the phone right now? How do they not have Jerry McDevitt on the phone
because they
trying
don't
to negotiate?
Want to. Because they don't want to. Vince does not want it. I am telling you right now, and I believe this from the bottom of my heart. I personally think I don't think the networks are pushing for these live shows.
Right.
I don't think they are. I genuinely think that because of the circumstances, if Vince said one or two things, we're going to tape all of our shows so we can have we can keep at least quarantine our superstars for a while and they could be with their families during this time.
Yeah.
Or B, we're going to put on old vintage Raws or whatever, or matches and whatnot. And guess what the companies would have done? I genuinely, the network's been like, okay.
Yeah.
Can't say anything. There's a global pandemic going on. Literally, majority of the states are in a lockdown. However, you're dealing with Vince McMahon here.
Right.
Vince McMahon wants live shows.
He does.
Vince McMahon wants to televise events. He does not give a damn. I hate to say it,
and you're right.
And I think that's what's going on. I don't think it's a situation where they're holding WWE and hostage and saying you have to put on these live shows. You have it in your contract. This is where. That's not what's happening here. We're supposed to pay our bills for our car insurance. Majority of these car insurances are giving people are reimbursing people credits.
The defer payments. Yeah, like
normally normally you don't pay a bill like a certain, if you like, let's just pretend you're in your contract that you sign for your phone or for your electric bill or for your insurance. Normally you have to pay. If you don't pay the 3 months or you have a late fee, we're gonna fine you and there's gonna be consequences. And guess everyone's doing the leave for that.
Yeah.
There's certain situations with us with the baby, like even with my maternity leave, right?
Yep. I'm
owed more money, but because of this leave but everything's going to be taking a while and whatnot, but I'm still getting, not my fault. We're in a global pandemic right now.
Right.
No network is pressuring them. Vince.
I don't think so either. I don't think USA Network would turn around. USA owned by NBC. I don't think NBC is going to say to them, you have to do this. I don't think Fox is going to tell them you have to do this.
Because guess what? How would that look for that company?
That would look horrible for them.
How would it look for the USA Network and Fox?
Especially now let's just say, because like I said, for me now, it's not a question of if something were to happen, somebody catches coronavirus, comes in asymptomatic, but when at this point. Imagine if somebody got sick, comes in asymptomatic, they get in the ring, because you can't tell, they get whoever they're in the ring sick. And then they have all their germs all over the ring. The next guy comes in, they get sick. And then it starts spreading. Imagine then WWE puts out a statement that says, yes, we are really, we really regret that, one of the wrestlers came in sick, but we have to do these shows,
because USA and Fox.
Because USA and Fox telling us that we have to do these shows. That would look horrible for the USA Network and for Fox. Horrible. Big companies. I think you're 100% right. I think you just hit the nail right on the head right there.
I think Vince will try to pretend that, it's in our contract. No one's
you
following.
can say that till the cows come home.
No one's following a contract right now.
For a second.
No, there's so many companies and businesses that are not
There are
following
sports
their
organizations.
contracts.
MLB hasn't played a game yet. They're trying to figure out if they can even play a game
Even
this
if there will
year.
be a season this year.
NBA and NHL, their seasons were almost over. They're still on pause. They're probably, not coming back this year. Like
It's just a
and yes, they could play in empty arenas. Sure, they could. Of course, they could. But
why?
What's the benefit? Like, seriously, that's a weird camera shot right there. But yeah, what?
That should be the thumbnail.
I know. What's the benefit? Like, what would be the benefit of NHL coming back right now, or NBA coming back and playing in empty stadiums?
But see, here's the thing.
At the expense of people's health,
There's no
thank
benefit.
God, like these leagues are smart enough to do that.
There's no benefit right now. And again, I miss wrestling just as much as anybody with WrestleMania and my pay-per-views. And again, we are very lucky. Me and you are very, very lucky.
Right.
That we went to the Elimination Chamber this year.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky. But this is the way the world is right now.
Right.
And
it's time to start living in it.
It's not just WWE. It's everyone. It's not like we're singling out WWE. The world is not singling out WWE.
No.
It's the
Everybody's
entire
shut down.
world right now is going through this. Wake
Agreed.
up. Wake up. You can't keep doing this to people, and you can't instill fear into your employees, because that's what they are. These superstars are employees.
Not by the letter of the law.
Now they have.
Now is the time. If they were ever going to form a union, this would be the time.
This would be the time that they have to really.
They all
do a
band
walkout.
together and just say, you know what?
We're not doing it.
Fuck, no way. But you know what? But at the end of the day, no matter how many improvements get made, no matter how much, time off they get, these are still professional wrestlers at the end of the day. I don't care where they came from. They didn't go through the independence. They didn't go through the whole territory thing. They're still wrestlers at the end of the day. And there will always be a wrestler that will just say, I'm going to compete today. They don't want to do it. I'll do it. I'm not on TV right now, but I'll do it if you want me to.
Yeah. I know there's plenty of people I know who would do it.
Like if half of them walked out, Mojo Rawley's in the main event before you know it.
Mojo Rawley would for the next
happening.
No, you know what would happen? Mojo Rawley would be champion for like 3 years probably. Because his loyalty to Vince.
That would be terrifying.
No, there would be always somebody you're right. There's always somebody who would want to do it. See, again, me personally, I don't care. You can threaten me till the cows come home. I don't care. I'm not jeopardizing my family. I'm not doing it. So it's amazing how there hasn't already been like something like that or a walkout. But maybe it will come, because the more, like you said before.
Or if somebody else gets sick.
You said it twice.
And it just keeps
before. It's not a matter of if.
Fix my shirt.
It's a when.
Right.
More and more superstars are going to get it. So maybe that will be the unfortunate cause for some sort of like, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah. So that's our opinion on that. I think we've properly laid out
we exhausted that.
Every potential feeling on that one. We still got Raw to talk about, so you can stay tuned for that.
Wait a minute.
What? Oh, God. Yeah. Minute away from midnight on the East Coast over here. Victoria's excited.
Yay.
I'm not really.
Yay.
Well, you know how it is. Anyway, I am really, really curious, though, about their... actually, gosh, Ashley just popped up right here. Their earnings call is going to be towards the end of April. I can't wait to hear some of that Q&A.
Oh, yes. That will be an interesting one for sure.
It's going to be good.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you. Yay.
Thanks. Yep.
Thanks. That's
Thank
all
you.
I get. That was a
Yes.
beautiful rendition.
It was great. It was not quite Marilyn Monroe, but it was good.
Happy birthday.
Nafisa Dots, wish me happy birthday. Thank you, everybody. Quentin, wish me happy birthday. Thank you very much.
You better all wish him a happy birthday, or I'm gonna get involved.
It is officially my birthday now. Corey Howell, thank you very much. Best recapper ever. I appreciate that. Andrew, thank you. Yes, I'm 33 years old now. I'm 33.
Streamers.
Mark the time. Wow, it's getting to be like a New Japan show now. Streamers being thrown around.
And
Pretty
a rubber
cool.
ducky.
And a rubber ducky. Oh wow. Good. Oh, we should have brought. We should have had
in her
Mercy.
room.
Mercy's
She loves
in the baby's room.
Mercy.
She loves that thing. I don't know why.
It does not scare
Thank you,
her.
Ted. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Oh wait, I'm not gonna rattle it because I don't want to wake her up. But
Oh boy. Anthony Riley, thank you very much. So far it is a good one. It's great to be on the air talking with everybody, and doing this show. I love it.
It's
Machine,
already been your
thank you.
birthday for
Chad
a minute.
Cooper, we didn't say hello to Chad
Hello,
yet.
Chad.
Hello, Chad, and thank you very much.
It's already been your birthday for like a minute.
Daniel Shell's gonna get the strippers over here as long as they're wearing face masks, please. Billy Hefner, love you, bro.
No.
Thank you, man.
No.
Yeah. Did you see that though? Like I saw this article about because
I
you know, a strip club
I did.
like
Deem themselves essential.
Yeah, well no they weren't like running any shows, so what they were doing was they were charging like $40. The strippers go and pick up your food, and they come over in face masks and rubber gloves and take their tops off and deliver your food to you. Like,
No, did you see that thing that they were trying to fight themselves as deem essential?
did they?
Yeah. Like for entertainment.
God, that's terrible, man. Oh man.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Ashley gives salutations to both of your birthdays this week. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's been your birthday for 2 minutes now.
It has been. Daniel Shell, welcome to 33, you old fuck. Love it. All right, let's get into this episode of Raw.
It's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
It's your birthday.
So
The Titanic sank today.
the Titanic struck the iceberg today. It sank on April 15th, though. So this was actually a pretty good episode of Raw, believe it or not, because they kept it all action. And I guess if you're going to do these empty arena shows, they got to be all action. And one of the very first things you have to do if you're going to have a match, Asuka's got to be the first one to lead it off. They did that last week on the Raw after WrestleMania, and Asuka was out there again for the first match and a Money in the Bank qualifying match. So imagine this now. Oh God, I got to go back to the freaking rant again because I'm still mad that they're doing live shows because it's so absurd to me. It's so goddamn absurd. Now imagine... Thank you. Imagine making people do a show every week in the middle of a fucking pandemic and then telling them, hey, guess what? In the beginning of May, you're going to get a bunch of ladders in this empty arena and you're going to fucking kill yourselves on them. For me. For money. Are you kidding me? God almighty. Fucking,
Well,
like,
regardless.
How?
Regardless, though.
Anyway.
Asuka is the perfect person during a quarantine.
Asuka's great.
She's fantastic.
Asuka's great.
She is fabulous. I love her and her matches. Love her.
I do love Asuka
Her
as well.
personality.
Thanks, Goosey. Yes, I agree. Asuka's great. Now, the show kicked off. This was really good. I really, really liked how the show kicked off with McIntyre coming to the ring.
Yes.
You know, he looks into the camera, thanks everybody for the outpouring of support for his title win. And thanks the fans for the privilege of being invited into their living rooms, which I was like, oh, God, stop that.
No, I thought that was good.
That was good, but that was the old Vince shtick from, like, you know, all the In Your House pay-per-views. Thank you for inviting us into your living rooms tonight. It's like, God, you know that's like Vince trying to save face and pretend to be, you know,
Caring.
genuine in this moment. Like, you know, we really care about you, the fans.
Please think about
We're doing this for you.
We're doing it for you guys.
Like, my ass. Oh yeah, Ashley's right. We got to get the Vince puppet that says it's such good shit. We got to get. Actually, if they sell that, I'm buying it. If they sell it, I'm buying it.
Hold on, I'm looking.
That's it.
Continue.
Victoria's gonna look it up.
Go.
McIntyre gets. You know, he says he'll defend the title. If anybody deserves an opportunity at the title, they get a shot at the title. Andrade comes out, and then what happens was actually really, really cool. I really like this. Well, first of all, I really liked Zelina Vega doing an attempt at a Scottish accent. Thank you, Lou. Appreciate it. She did a really. I thought she did a really good.
She did.
Scottish impression, but I heard from somebody in Scotland tonight, and they said that it was a pish.
So that means it was not good.
It was not good
Okay.
to them. It was not good to them.
I guess. Well, you know what? That makes sense. If you're from the area,
You're from the area, you're going to be a
like,
little
you know,
more
when people
critical of it.
when people
To me-
make New Jersey accents, I'm like, no, that's not how
That's
it
not
goes.
even close.
That's
Not
not
even
even
close,
close.
no.
Like when people go New Jersey, like, no, we don't do that.
Nobody says Joyzy.
Nobody says that.
Nobody says Joyzy.
Nobody does
No.
that.
It's New Jersey. It's New Jersey. That's it. Now, some people in the Midwest will say rough instead of roof, or they call it pop instead of soda.
And like a boot is really a thing in Canada.
yeah, that whole entire thing. If anybody's ever talked to Paul Nemmer, like it's literally the Canada thing is like it's real.
Oh my
It's a
God,
boot
I love
and-
talking
and-
to Paul.
And yaman.
I love talking to Paul. It's like my favorite thing.
Anyway,
Anyways, I'm
so
still looking up this puppet
They
thing.
remind us of this feud that Andrade and McIntyre had. Usually, like, if there's any past history that wasn't on the main roster, it gets ignored completely. It's like it never happened. Instead, tonight they called attention to the fact that, yeah, by the way, last time you faced Andrade, he tore your bicep, you were out for 6 months, and he took the title from you. So that's how they set the stage for the main event tonight. McIntyre accepts the challenge, and then they go. Really, really good. I like that a lot. Going through the show, next up is Asuka versus Ruby Riott
Yes.
in Money in the Bank qualifying
I
match.
gotta be honest with you, I loved it.
She was so much fun during this.
That's what I was saying before. I find her, like, she's the perfect person during this time because she is genuinely entertaining. She doesn't need a crowd to like, there's something about her that just, like, I don't know, she is so expressive. Like, she really, really knows how to get your attention.
Right. I loved, like, during Ruby Riott's entrance, she's dancing to her music. She slams her into the barricade. All of a sudden, she's dancing on the barricade as we go to a commercial break. She's screaming the entire time. It is just, it's a total blast to watch Asuka do her thing right now.
It is for sale, and I am buying it right now.
How much?
Like $30.
Yes, get it. It's an easy. Nafis Sadat says, I can confirm that I also say a boot unintentionally.
Nafis.
Nafis. I got to tell you, as we go through this show, I will be talking more about Andrade and Zelina Vega and this new stable that they're really creating and running with. I love it. Anyway, Asuka actually had a pretty good match against Ruby Riott. I thought, Asuka was great. Ruby Riott was a little on the slow motion side. She did it. There was one at one point she tried a roll up that was really sloppy and looked like she was trying to do the roll up underwater. But that's par for the course. But Asuka beats her by submission. Charlie Cruz is in the ring. Asuka says that Money in the Bank, no one is ready for her. MVP announces that next week we're going to have 3 Money in the Bank qualifying matches.
I thought this was interesting. Just because including MVP. I thought it was a good touch.
Yeah.
Right? To announce the matches?
Yeah, I know. I liked it. Well, because he announced for next week we're going to have all first-time ever matches. Rey Mysterio versus Murphy. Aleister Black will face Austin Theory. And Apollo Crews will face one of the most decorated WWE superstars of all time and a ladder match legend, MVP. So if you'd like to place a wager, put it on the man to win it all because he's straight up ballin'. I love MVP. I loved when that angle that they did with Edge back in March before everything went to hell.
Yes.
Where he was like trying to like say like, oh, you need management Edge, you need me, blah blah. I was like, MVP really should start up a damn stable because he would be great.
Say that.
Yeah, he would be great for all those guys that aren't really good at talking, even with pre-scripted promos. They're just not good at it. So like he's gonna face Apollo Crews next week. What I would do, and I'm just gonna tell you my little fantasy booking thing here real quick. What I would do is have MVP lay down for Apollo Crews immediately. Apollo Crews covers him with his boot. And it's like they conspired together. MVP, his first client is Apollo Crews, and he takes him to Money in the Bank.
That's a good idea.
That would be where I would start, and because MVP wants to, he just wants to have championship gold. He doesn't care if he has it or if it's in his stable. If he's managing champions, it doesn't matter. that would just be a great start for him. I think, you know, the main roster could stand to have more managers, you know, more Paul Heyman, you know, and like Paul Heyman, look how great it is. What it's such a big part of Brock Lesnar's act. Brock Lesnar is still a great wrestler and a great performer and still has a mystique without Paul Heyman. But when Lesnar first came back to WWE, without Paul Heyman, he's a different guy. You know, with Paul Heyman, the mystique is just intensified.
I really genuinely believe there's a time and a place for individuals like Paul Heyman. You need a good manager. You need somebody who has it all but doesn't have the opportunity to sell themselves on the microphone.
Oh, I thought you had more to say. Yeah, no, I agree. Yes, like you need people to sell. You know,
no, you need people to sell. Yeah, exactly. And I think MVP. I don't have much experience with MVP. Honestly, I don't.
Right.
At all. Like I have very little to say. But from what I have seen with him, and just from what you've talked about too, I think it would be really good. I think we need more people in that position too. I find it interesting. Like, you remember even when like even somebody like. I'm just going to say somebody like even Lana, when she was just with Rusev, you know what I mean? And she was promoting him and everything else.
By the way, I would put Bobby Lashley in MVP stable.
Yeah.
Especially when he breaks up with Lana.
That's a really, really good idea.
Especially when he breaks up with Lana.
It's a really good idea. But, you know, and Rusev, like, I'm saying now, like, he has, like, this little bit, like, this charismatic side and whatever. But I'm saying for what he was doing initially with his character, as like the big Bulgarian Groot and everything like that, like Brute or whatever. Groot, whatever. Groot. But I feel like we need more of those managers. Like, I feel like we need like Vicky Guerrero's and Paul Heyman. Like, you know what I just find that, and they don't need to always turn into a wrestler. Like MVP, yeah, he happens to be able to wrestle too. You know what I mean? But I don't know what's wrong with just having somebody like Paul Heyman. Like, why do they always have to kind of go into a match? Like, yeah, like maybe have a move it once in a while here and there, but like I personally, I could never do what they do in the ring because I'm not athletic like that at all, but I would love to be a manager. I really think I could actually do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really do. I feel like I can pump somebody up and get heat on somebody and sell them, but I can't do anything in the ring. But I would love to work for the company as just like as a on-air personality in that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. Like being manager is it's like a no-brainer, and they do it a lot. You know, in NXT, they're, you know, starting up with Malcolm Bivens. They have Robert Stone down there. AEW has, well, they might have too many stables, to be honest with you, but it adds a lot to the show. And you can do a lot of storylines weaving out of that, you know?
What was the most effective stable you've seen?
The most effective stable I've seen WWE when? Ever or in the last couple years?
I would say the last couple years.
Last couple years, the most effective stable would have to be like, you know, there hasn't been many stables in this company. You have to imagine that.
Okay.
You know, I would say probably one of the more effective ones ever, you know, in the last, you know, 20 years of making stars, it would be Evolution.
Okay.
DX.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, did a lot, but it also helped bury a lot of people too. Probably one of the best stables of all time, WWE, would have to be the Heenan family. Obviously, Bobby Heenan was just he was just great. You know, and his stable, like all the people that he collected, all the championships, like they really made it seem like so. It's such a big deal.
Got it. Okay.
Corey Howe says Legacy. I can't say that Legacy was a good stable because think about the two guys it was designed to build. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. Ted DiBiase Jr. is now a firefighter, and Cody Rhodes never quite made it in WWE, so he started his own company, made it. So there's that. Like for me, an effective stable is like everybody's better at the end of it. Obviously, you know, Shield. Daniel Schell just said it right there. Shield,
yeah, okay.
Obviously, all three of them came out the better for it. Obviously. All three of them.
I was just curious
WWE
of what your
champion.
opinion on
Oh,
was
yeah.
on that.
Actually, you know what? I take it back. In the last few years, let's say the last decade would be the Shield. I think in the last 20 years, Evolution.
Okay.
So there's that. Next up, we have a Money in the Bank qualifying. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I skipped over something. I skipped over a few things. Aleister Black, Oney Lorcan. You know, Oney Lorcan, he's great. He's a lot of fun. If you ever seen him on Twitter, the guy is a riot. But ever since he held the company up and called Triple H out on Twitter, he hasn't been quite the same. He gave Aleister Black a competitive match, which is like, okay, whatever. Like, I kind of liked it when Aleister Black was just crushing people. I thought the match that he had last week with Apollo Crews, and we didn't get to talk about it, last week, really.
You said it went too long.
It was not only did it go too long, it just sucked. It was the shit. And it's like, okay, well, we're bringing this guy over from SmackDown, this Apollo Crews that we've never done anything with. Never.
Right.
We've never given him a sustained push. We've never made him anything more than a joke. And now it's like, well, we're going to put him in a long match. Now you got to take him seriously just because we said so. It's like, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, even in a pandemic, you can't fool us.
You can't force what's not there.
Right.
Okay. That's why I would put him with MVP, because then you'll start taking him seriously really quickly. But like, having a long, boring match with Aleister Black only to lose anyway, which everybody knew he was going to lose. It's like that doesn't do anything for me. Like Oney Lorcan, fun on Twitter. He's a great guy, great wrestler. Doesn't need to be having long matches with Aleister Black either, because he's nobody.
Right. Listen, what do you think before everything went down? Is this like where they were going with Aleister Black with these matches and stuff? Like, I feel like they're pushing him a little bit more.
Oh no, Aleister Black is like, he's gonna be, they have to start doing a little more with him. It's like, yeah, it's cool to like win matches all the time, but like, I think if they're gonna do Money in the Bank, like for me, Aleister Black should win it.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
See,
I think Aleister Black should call his shot too, because they like all night they were talking about the how unexpected it is with the Money in the Bank. They can cash in anytime, anywhere. And they interviewed Rey Mysterio, and he talked about, oh yeah, well in 2010, which God, who remembers that? I had a successful title defense, and I could barely stand after that. And then Kane came out and cashed in Money in the Bank. I was like, Kane won Money in the Bank? I was like some of this stuff is just so unmemorable. But, he was putting over the fact that, yeah, you can, as a champion, it's terrible because, you can get cashed in at any time.
Right, at any time, yeah.
So it's like, what happens if a guy calls his shot? Like John Cena did that.
Yeah.
I
remember you saying that tonight.
On Raw 1000, he called his shot and actually lost.
I genuinely do like Aleister Black. I am struggling with his character development as well. But I do like his matches. Like, I remember when he, sorry, I have pain in my stomach right now. I remember when he came in and like initially from the NXT call-ups when they did like the 4 people that night or whatever it was, and I liked him out of everybody. I would like to see more. I get so conflicted with how this is going to affect development of characters though during this time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to kind of do that and it's like, does he need a crowd? Is it what there's something missing that I'm just not connecting with, but I do like him, if that makes sense.
I'm interested in him.
Yeah.
I need to see, I agree. I need to see more. It's like time to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And having,
but how can we do that with going on?
And having competitive matches against Oney Lorcan and Apollo Crews isn't doing it for me.
I know. I don't know how we evolve now at this point. That's what I'm struggling with.
Right.
It's like, how can you really gain momentum?
Well, speaking of momentum or lack thereof, Becky Lynch was out in the ring tonight. I don't know. So she called out whoever wins the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and
you know what's interesting?
She was talking quietly, and just I was like, I am so over this.
You know what? I am too, but at the same time, though, I really I feel like you took it, I'm not gonna say offensively. I think you took it a little bit more personally. I think you're completely over her. I'm not crazy about her as I used to be by any means, but I didn't find this to be
I'm
like
not offended by anything she said.
No, I'm not saying offended. I'm just saying I think when you see her, you automatically are like, ugh.
No, I'm actually just tired of the whole shtick. I'm tired of the man thing. I'm tired. It's time for a change. It's like every title reign has an expiration date.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
And it's like, yes, she works hard. She's a good talent, but it's almost like the shtick is old, and it's time to freshen up the thing. Not only just freshen up the title scene, but from a character standpoint, it's time to freshen up Becky Lynch too, because she's pretty damn stale. She's just been doing the same rehash of the same promo she's been cutting on Ronda Rousey since the end of 2018.
I mean, you're right about that.
There's been no development, none. And in fact, whatever storylines they've given her have actually kind of sabotaged her. It's almost like, she hasn't really been the same since they, made her and Seth Rollins team up over the summer.
Yeah, no, she really hasn't honestly come back from that. She has not bounced back from that by any means.
No, and it's kind of sucked since then.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't find this to be like as cringeworthy or like annoying, I guess.
It wasn't cringy. It was just the same damn promo.
Are you just bored then?
I'm totally completely bored.
Okay.
You
checked out like on that level.
I thought they should have. Yes, I thought they should have pulled the trigger on with Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania. I kind of get why they didn't. There's one more money match with Becky Lynch that hasn't been done yet, and that's obviously Nia Jax, the face breaker. But it doesn't seem like they're going in that direction yet, because we have Money in the Bank coming up. So it's like another 2 months of this stuff again.
Yeah.
When are we
another very unfortunate circumstances with this whole thing going on, because Shayna Baszler, this is what I think would have happened. I think Shayna Baszler would have won, right?
Mm-hmm. Jamel's in the chat room tonight.
Hi, Jamel. I think Shayna Baszler would have won, and I think Becky's next feud was going to be Nia Jax, even without a title. That's just what I think.
Nia Jax now is in Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So now we got to wait again. Anyway, I am very checked out though. Sarah Logan versus Shayna Baszler. This I liked a lot. Shayna Baszler took her down almost immediately, stomped the arm to break it, and left. The referee stopped the match. They had a big botch, a huge botch. Actually, Vin DiGirolamo, my brother-in-law, just messaged me about it.
Is he in the chat right now?
No, he's not in the chat, but he was texting me before. He's like, how did Sarah Logan win that match? The ring announcer said that Sarah Logan won the match. Obviously, he botched it. It's Shayna Baszler won the match. Sarah Logan couldn't continue, so Shayna Baszler wins, but the ring announcer just got the names mixed up or whatever. So they had to explain that away. But yeah, that created a lot of confusion. Kind of took away from the impact of the angle for a second, because you're like, oh, wait, huh? What? Shayna Baszler lost? That's stupid. And then it's like, oh, well, no, she actually won. And they're talking their quiet. The announcers have to talk in their quiet voices, because the arm is broken and all that stuff. But I thought it was a strong angle. If that botch didn't happen, it would have been really, really strong. Because you got to establish Shayna Baszler again as a killer.
You do.
And they need to keep booking her that way from here on out.
That's
no more super vampire bullshit. Nope. No more, zooming in really close to the camera and all that stuff. No. None of that. Just book her as a killer. Don't have her cutting stupid promos. Maybe every now and then she could say, oh, I'm going to beat the shit out of somebody. And she can say shit, because that seems to be her gimmick.
Again,
and that's it.
Agreed, 100%. I genuinely don't understand why somebody... It's very, very rare to me to find somebody who has it all. In-ring, right. Microphone, charismatic right off the bat, right?
Right.
But somebody like Shayna Baszler, what is so wrong about just being a dominant killer?
Put her in MVP stable. Let MVP do the talking for her.
Even Brock Lesnar, even if Paul Heyman wanted to
Paul Heyman, yeah, like create an MMA stable. And so this whole entire thing, that another piece of news that has everybody riled up this week is that Ronda Rousey thing, where she said, oh, it's fake fighting for fun, And then they had a bunch of, the WWE female roster go on Twitter and say, Nia Jax said, well, I hope Ronda comes back because I want to break script and I'm going to be the first person to knock her the fuck out in the ring. And I don't care what they tell me to do. It's an angle. It's an angle. It's an angle.
Oh my God.
It's an angle. They brought it up on the show tonight. They even asked Shayna Baszler, what did you think of Ronda Rousey's derogatory comments? And Shayna Baszler just walked off. It's a goddamn angle.
She's been doing, oh my God, Ronda Rousey is the best at trolling people.
She's great.
She's amazing. Did you see that Hogan puppet that she had and she was like beating it up?
No, I didn't see that.
It's really funny.
I think I just peeked my microphone a bunch of times doing that. I apologize.
It's an angle.
It's an angle. Damn it. I just want people to know that.
It's an angle.
But it's great. It's a good angle. And it's a great way when they eventually...
It's a good one.
it's a great way when they eventually... Oh, no, please, it's an angle. It's a great way when they eventually reintroduce Ronda Rousey to the main roster.
Absolutely.
Which feels like it's coming at some point. I think probably by the summer, I think we might see her.
Oh, man.
Goosey's asking if it's an acute angle or an obtuse angle. I always found Ronda Rousey to be a little cute, so it's a cute. Teacher jokes. We like it. We enjoy them. Anyway, so yeah, I thought that was a really solid thing to do with Shayna Baszler right 100%. There, kind of get her some steam back. Akira Tozawa versus Austin Theory. I am really digging Austin Theory. I like him a lot. 22 years old. He's really handling the pressure very, very well. And tonight he was in the ring with Akira Tozawa. Tonight he was doing that thing. When what first caught my eye was when they started going back to doing arena shows at Full Sail with no crowd. Austin Theory was in the first match of that official first match back for NXT, not counting that boring ass video package show that they did for 2 hours that one week when they were just scrambling to figure out what the hell to do. He was in the ring with Tyler Breeze and he just wouldn't shut up. He was just talking trash
and more trash,
and it was so great. And I was like, this guy has something. He really kind of made the arena feel less empty, and he was doing all of that stuff that I really liked tonight. And I'm sure that caught the eye of some of the executives too, because he was, when Andrade got the rib injury, which he's already back from, obviously. They brought him up and said it's a guy who could do it. We believe he could do it. A very happy accident. Could you bring the camera down just a tiny tick? See if you're gonna slouch.
My stomach's hurting me.
All right, that's why bring the camera down just a little tick. There you go.
I'll be nice. It's your birthday.
All right, there we go. Yeah, he was great in this. One thing that was said in this match that really made me just go,
yeah,
what?
Yes.
Was Jerry Lawler. Akira Tozawa hit an apron senton onto Austin Theory, which was a great move. And then Jerry Lawler, and this is the shit that if people online really, like when Jim Cornette said that off-color remark, about the bucket of fried chicken or something like that in Ethiopia, that got him totally fired and banned for life from NWA Power, and really it was just because people just hate his guts. Jerry Lawler called it a ramen noodle moonsault.
Oh my god!
That's just it's not inherently racist. It's just old stupid jokes that just really are kind of cringy and really don't have a place.
I'm a really bad person. I'm not gonna say I'm a bad person. I'm the type of person I laugh at stuff when I get nervous. You know what I mean? When I get ooh, that wasn't really right to say, and I start laughing, but I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm nervous. I'm oh, why did they say that? And I start laughing.
Yeah. It was
I was like, ha, ha, ha. No, I can't be laughing right now because it's not funny. But I'm nervous for him. You know what I mean?
It was just oh,
why?
He really he said that out loud, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said that out loud, didn't he?
It's not in good taste. It's
yeah, it was just in poor taste. It was what it was. But that's Jerry Lawler. That like those guys, Jim Cornette. Like they're just stuck.
I know.
Like you're not gonna fix everybody. And yes, like everything is a little too hypersensitive, politically correct these days, and some of the stuff is just complete and total bullshit. A lot of the stuff like the Halloween costume thing. I always loved the Halloween costume thing. My culture is not a Halloween costume. I am not a Halloween costume. Well, it was a bunch of, freaking loser college kids just trying to take up a cross for, we got to defend, minorities and stuff like that. And then they took a poll of like people that are actually like, Native American and, of Aztec descent or whatever. And they're like, we don't care. 92% of them said we don't care. It's just these college kids that just want to just feel good about themselves.
There's a few people on Twitter there's a few people on Twitter, they put the media in and then they're like, yeah, everyone cares, but nobody actually cares. It's like 5 people who write on Twitter and articles written about it, and then the media blows it up, and then like you said, 95% of people actually don't give a crap at all. So whatever. But yes,
it's crazy. But that's Jerry Lawler. Like you're not gonna make everybody be politically correct.
Even when I worked in the nursing home, I hate to say it, like there was.
Oh God, terrible. But it's just
that was the way they grew up, and I'm not. And again, it wasn't like, I'm not saying it was anything racist. I'm just saying like the way they even like approached me. Like, hey, they're beautiful, like things like that, like, and I didn't care. Like, I wasn't like, whatever, so yeah. That's just the way they spoke.
Richard Eland in the chat room tonight. Is Hello. It you guys behind running Wrestleview for the last 20 years? I have not been behind running Wrestleview for 20 years. I've been am I 12 years in with Wrestleview now?
12.
12, yeah. I'm 12 years in with
12,
Wrestleview.
Yeah.
Are you approaching 12? I just celebrated my first year running the show, though. That's for sure.
12? Wait,
it'll be 12 in June.
12 in June, yeah. That's coming on 12.
12 years in June. That's a long time. That's a long time. Anyway, Austin Theory wins the match with Akira Tozawa after the really cringy Jerry Lawler comment. Angel Garza and Andrade get in the ring after they attack Akira Tozawa. Andrade hits him with a hammerlock DDT off the top rope. Great visual. The announcers missed it the first time. That is the move that cost Drew McIntyre the NXT Championship. They said it the second time they did it when Angel Garza defeated whoever it was, Tahuti Miles. When he defeated Tahuti Miles and they attacked him, and Andrade did the same exact thing. The hammerlock DDT off the top rope. They finally mentioned, yes, that is the move that beat Drew McIntyre. What'll happen if Andrade hits it tonight? Like, it'd have been a better story if you told it the first time. That's cool. Richard says he's been on this site since he was able to get on the internet.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool.
We appreciate you. Wow. Being a reader of the site.
That's awesome.
Long term for 20 years.
That's really cool.
That's pretty. Andrew Elder calls Tahuti Miles Tutti Frutti. Oh, Rudy. Great. Now I'm going to be watching Little Richard videos all night. Victoria just loves when I watch Little Richard videos all night.
I do. I really do.
Actually, his music is so good. He's so good.
No, it's funny because you just get these laughing kicks, and I wake up from them. It's hilarious.
Well, yeah, those are different things. But yeah.
No, I know those are that guy that eats that stuff or whatever.
Oh, L.A. Beast. Yeah. I'm always crying whenever I watch L.A. Beast. He's so great. He's so. I don't know why I just love watching that guy just punish himself. It's so great. But Jamel says I wouldn't mind an official new stable of Andrade, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory. I think it feels official to me.
I think it's a Bruin.
They were even posing tonight together.
I do. I think it's a Bruin.
They had a stable pose.
I do.
It's pretty cool.
I think it's in the making.
Kairi Sane versus Nia Jax in Money in the Bank qualifier. Nia Jax made quick work of Kairi Sane, defeated her. So the 3 Raw representatives are Nia Jax, Asuka, and Shayna Baszler for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. 3 weeks from Sunday. So that's pretty cool. I like Nia Jax. I think they should book her like they're booking Tamina on SmackDown. They've booked Nia Jax horribly in the past. It's time to reverse course. She's been gone for a year. So they can definitely change course.
They definitely can change course for sure. I think
fix this because she has a great she has a look. I never liked the bodysuit that they put on her. I thought it was I just prone to thinking that it's just completely unflattering and doesn't really accentuate her that well. I feel like they could have a better outfit for her, but at the end of the day, she's super strong. They always concentrate on the eyes with her. I think they can properly turn her into a killer.
I think so too, and I think that she's another one. Again, she does not need to speak. Let's just let her be dominant, let her be a killer. And I don't know what's so wrong about that. I like Nia Jax, I do. I'm getting depressed though again.
Why?
No, because this was actually something that with the Money in the Bank, that actually the makings of being really, really good, and it's like, oh, we're not going to be there yet with live shows and stuff.
No, it's going to be quite some time before they have people in the arena.
No, I know. I just again, somebody like her, been out for a year, 2 major surgeries, and
I honestly feel like, I mean, if I had to guess, when everybody's, I get a lot of emails actually, believe it or not. When are they going to have people in the arena again?
Yeah.
I honestly feel like they're going to wait for the second wave because that's all I keep hearing about is the second wave for that to come around. And if that doesn't come around hard, we could start seeing people back in arenas in September or October. I don't think I think
SummerSlam you don't think is happening.
I don't know. I don't think anything in the summer
just
is really
your
going to happen
opinion,
yet.
yeah.
This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. Or they should play smaller places, but I don't know. We shall see.
I don't know. I just think because I actually like Nia Jax, and I think that you're right. They definitely can change course with her in terms of her character. Perfect opportunity, and hopefully, eventually she'll get a feud with Becky Lynch. But at this point, it's just I feel really, really bad for her. She worked really, really hard to come back, and
absolutely.
Drew McIntyre, and I enjoy her.
Everybody.
No, I know, not just her. I'm just saying, this is when I see stuff like that was good. I thought she was good tonight. I just get sad.
Yeah.
Because I want what's. I say it's like I know them personally. I want what's best for everybody.
Your dear, close, personal, longtime friend.
My dear, first close friend, Nia Jax.
She's mean Gene.
Hi, Paul.
Mean Gene. Tutti Frutti. Oh, rude.
Hi,
Mean
Paul.
Gene singing Tutti Frutti was really great. Really, really great. Anyway. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair came out to say that she's going to go down to NXT and teach them about humility. Io Shirai is going to learn a lesson. Everybody bows down to the queen. So there's that.
There's that.
Bobby Lashley versus No Way Jose. Lashley crushed No Way Jose, no problem. But in the middle of the match, he got out of the ring and told Lana to shut the hell up. And then, obviously at WrestleMania, he said, I think it's time for me to get a new manager or a new wife. It's like, well, where the hell is all this coming from?
There was no backstory.
There's really no build up here.
Yeah.
There was at one point when Lashley and Rusev were in the ring, Lashley did tell her to shut the hell up or something like that.
Yeah.
Finally. But and then he was gone for a month and a half. We didn't see him. The first time we saw him was at WrestleMania. And the Lashley and Rusev completely disappeared even before the pandemic really started taking place. They were supposed to be in the Royal Rumble. They weren't in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Why are they hit? Where did the storyline come from? I want to know a little more about it. What the heck's going on?
Yeah, if you're going to listen, and people weren't too happy about that storyline to begin with, but if you're going to continue it, and if you're going to have them not be together, you should actually finalize it properly, as opposed to just letting it fizzle and no one actually understands what the hell's happening. But whatever.
Right.
Honestly, I'm I don't even care anymore. Something's going on with Lana. I really think something's up with her. Just personally,
I don't know. We'll see.
I personally think when you have a storyline like that, how could you not have marital problems?
I know. That's what everybody was saying. I've heard that a million gazillion times. Yes.
I don't know, because she really does seem like there's something wrong. Just looking at her Instagram and Twitter, and again, I can't judge off of social media, but
I know.
Just feels sad.
So, was I the only one that when I saw the Viking Raiders were going to be facing Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, that I was like, oh, gonna be an enormous squash match right here. That Ricochet Cedric Alexander tag team lasted all but a week. Was I the only one who thought that? I don't think so.
No, you were not.
I can't possibly be the only one. But they actually gave them a competitive match before beating them. So.
Okay,
but it's like why are we risking like somebody asked us earlier in the chat room, why are we risking people's lives to go out there and just do, matches that would generally be squash matches and just make them go 20 minutes? Like why? What's the point?
Why? But why is Ricochet a thing?
Ricochet is like
why?
God, like I feel so
why
bad
is
for
Richard
that guy
O'Shea?
because he is.
Do you feel bad for him? I don't feel bad for him.
Why not?
I just don't.
I think he's talented.
I think he's talented, but I don't really care anymore. I
don't care either. I'm kind of beaten down.
I used to,
my instant thought was when I heard his music, I was like, oh, he's jobbing tonight.
No, see, I used to. Okay, I used to like. My initial thoughts about him were like really talented. Like I do feel bad for him now. I just don't feel bad. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, I do feel bad for him because he's been booked like shit since he got up to the main roster.
And
he's got
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I will beat. Why not me? Why not you? Because,
there's so many reasons why.
Because you have no chance. That's why. It's like, good Lord.
That's the one thing Charlie Caruso was like. Does he really think he has a chance against Brock Lesnar?
that was like the one good thing about Charlie Caruso like that she's ever done. Yeah.
Anywho,
it's like, yeah, whatever. I don't even know what to say anymore.
I'm getting silly at this point. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I know we're going a little long too tonight, but that's because we had our big epic romp.
We had a big and it's your birthday.
And it's my birthday, so I'm happy to be here talking with everybody on my birthday. Yay.
Funny,
haha, funny boop, love it. Viking Raiders win. Finally, we have champion versus champion. WWE champion Drew McIntyre versus United States champion Andrade. And you would think on a show with no people in the arena that we could properly book, and this is my problem with Raw forever. Forever.
I feel a rant coming.
No, it's not going to be a rant because it's not even worth it anymore. It's not even worth me saying.
No, I'm sad.
I used to really rant about this when I was doing the Raw review write-ups.
Yes, my gosh.
My God, I used to. Sometimes I go back and read some of those reviews.
Yeah.
And there was this one kid that just really fucking hated me. And he was like, "You're a bastard, Mike. Fuck you. Fuck you." He would actually write that in the thing, and I'd be like, "Adam, like, can you shut this guy down?" Like, the kid was just like so pissed that like because I was like 2015, 2016 when they were booking Roman Reigns like absolute shit. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
This guy, they killed him. They fucking killed him, And I go back and I read everything that I wrote, and I'm like, God, I am the prognosticator. I like this kid. But then I go back and I look at some of this kid's comment. I'm like, oh my God, he is like so brainwashed. Like I love WWE. There's nobody that can say that I don't. I want them to be good. That's why I get so critical of them because I see ways that they could be good, and I know that they're not doing what they can.
Right. They're not living up to their potential.
They're not living up to the potential, especially with one of the best rosters of talent they've ever had.
100%. They have
Most
they had the makings to be like unbeatable. Let's put it that way.
Anyway, I don't even know where I was going with this, but yeah, my big rant was always like, why do they book a main event that like somebody would actually want to see?
I know.
And then they put on like
little to no time.
On Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander to go through a commercial break. Like that needed to happen.
Exactly.
It needed to happen, right?
Exactly.
That really, really needed to happen.
I agree with you.
Are you kidding me?
100%.
And then Andrade and Drew McIntyre get they start their match at 10:52 after making all their stupid entrances, and you know that they had to do that thing with Seth Rollins at the end of it too because he was teasing it the entire night, which I want to talk about that for a few anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are they gonna have, a 5-minute match after building it up all night? They were doing all those angles where Andrade, Theory, and Garza were crushing people. Like what for what? For a 5-minute match? How the fuck do you not know how to time out these shows? They've been doing them for 25 years. No, even longer. 27 years they've been doing these goddamn Raws. They can't time it out to have a proper fucking main event.
Real quick.
Go a proper length.
Yeah. Real quick. I think that I just want to say this fast because I know that we want to talk about Seth Rollins. I've always found that to be weird that they do even with pay-per-views. Think about it. Like, usually like WrestleMania or like a big pay-per-view, like it's like 2 seconds of a main event where people are like burned out and whatever. And it's like, do we really need to have this long match?
Right.
No, you don't. Like, put time and effort into the things that people actually want to see,
Right.
rather than the little squash matches, or like not squash matches because it wind up being like 30 minutes long, but it's
think about the shit that like went to commercial break. Like Asuka, Ruby Riott need to go to commercial break. Like why couldn't Asuka just put her in the Asuka lock?
Right.
And then automatically you have a commercial break ready for the main event.
Right.
And you could have done it right then and there.
Exactly.
Aleister Black and Oney Lorcan didn't need to go that long.
No, exactly. That's what
and
I was going to say.
I fucking said I said I wasn't going to do a rant, and I did it. They worked me into a shoot.
It's a birthday.
I got worked into a shoot on my own birthday.
It's a birthday round.
Now we just need a reason for Victoria to rant against Brian Alvarez, and the show will be perfect.
It's coming.
Oh
no,
man.
the reason why I did it. Okay, so I got a couple messages that were like, you were supposed to do your Brian Alvarez rant this week. I have more material, so it's coming.
Tomorrow, what I'm going to do on my birthday is I think Brian does like a show like every day at like 3 or something like that. I'm just going to just find the stream of that and put it on just to
provoke.
That'll be a present for me.
Just to provoke it.
That'll be a present for me to see Victoria just go nuts.
It's coming.
Thank you, Richard.
Stay tuned.
Thank you. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Also, Wade Keller. Oh, Andrew Elder hates Wade Keller. I don't even like Victoria's rant against Brian Alvarez. She is so passionate about this thing. Oh God, she does not like that guy.
He's rude.
I've met him. He was nice to me.
No, he's not nice. I told you. Stop. It's all of a facade. He's not a nice guy.
Okay. So Drew McIntyre, really, they didn't have much of a match at all. Drew McIntyre beat up on him pretty good for the entire thing.
Yeah.
Andrade worked the arm for like 3 seconds, and it's like, oh well, we're running out of time. Time to go home.
Bye.
And it was Claymore kick, and that's the end of that. So it's like they built this thing up so nicely. I was really looking forward to them having a good match. And
I don't know. I really, it's like it's really to me that's stupidity at its finest. Where it's like, you've been doing it for how long? It's like it's not. It's an easy fix. Shorten a match that nobody really cares about.
I know. Anyway, so the Seth Rollins thing. So Seth Rollins comes out at the end. Quentin Walters calls Brian Alvarez Brian Alcatraz. Oh,
Hashtag.
I love that. That's great. That is great.
That is great. That's gonna be the name of the podcast.
Brian Alcatraz, a rant by Victoria.
A rant by me.
So Seth Rollins came out after the match. He was teasing it all night, and he hit Drew McIntyre with 2 stomps. So I guess it's gonna be Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank.
I
like that a lot. I like the whole Seth Rollins thing about I think that's a great first title feud for Drew McIntyre. I think Seth Rollins and him will have a great match. I think it's obviously.
Did Seth Rollins look different tonight to you?
Yeah, he
had like a different appearance to me. Like he did something.
Like he dyed his hair blacker or something like that. He looked really like
I don't know.
He had like a real big tan.
He just looked different to me. But good. Like, he looked good. I'm looking forward to this.
It could. Yeah.
I like this. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be good. I'm not a huge fan of all the, religious, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, the crucify thing. That was a little much.
I was like, oh, God.
Especially with
okay.
Easter.
Well, and then the show ends with Jerry Lawler saying Seth Rollins was crucified and now he's resurrected. It's like, okay. God, it's like, is there a low road that they can't take ever? Like, I get it. It's Easter. They're beating us over the head with the whole entire thing. It's just so tacky.
Like, I like the whole Messiah thing. I
like the Messiah. I love the Messiah thing.
I just don't. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not. I don't know if it's because we're religious people, but I think it's just a little much.
Yeah. It really doesn't have to do. I mean, I can laugh at religion too. I'm not somebody who's like so sensitive to all that stuff. But it's just tacky. And it's like it's been done already. It's like they had God be Vince, be Shawn Michaels' tag partner.
I didn't know that.
They had Vince walk into a church and put holy water in his mouth. Go, hey, look, I'm Triple H, and spit out the holy water. Never
seen that before. Like, so I get it. Yeah, I mean it's not to that level by any means. But I agree. I think it's just, and you could do it. You could still be like this Messiah without all those major references. But
right.
I enjoy Seth Rollins like this.
Yeah, I like him. He's a heel. He's always been a heel to me. He did a good job, in the early stages of his face thing. But then when he went on Twitter and started, essentially crucifying himself, he kind of killed that. And so he's doing a lot better as this. Corey Howell wants you to do a JBL rant next.
I can go on about him too. He's a bully.
She does not like JBL.
He's a bully.
When she heard him at WrestleMania, dear God, Victoria was livid.
Nafis and I actually were in the chat that night of WrestleMania, and we were talking about it. I remember Nafis goes, I didn't want to say it, but I think the same way. He's a bully. He's a bully. He's a bully. He's a bully, and he's a bully. I don't think they should condone bullying, and I think the fact that he should never be allowed to commentate ever again. He's a bully. He's a bully.
Daniel actually came up with a really good idea here. Victoria needs a rant podcast. We should do just a Victoria rant once a month. Something where it's like, you know what really grinds my gears and blah.
I know. I could go on.
She could go on.
The show would be like 4 hours, but I don't know if anyone want to listen to it. I can go on about something you can give me any topic. I can go on and on about it.
When Victoria wants to be petty, she can do it.
I could be petty, and I could do a rant about this piece of plastic right here. I can make a 4-hour podcast about this piece of plastic.
That would be the most boring podcast on the face.
It would be boring,
planet.
but I could go on a rant.
That would be horrible.
I'm not going to. I will actually provide content that people want to hear about.
All right, good. We need more shows. With that, we have come to the conclusion of our Raw review. Overall, I would say I would give the show a thumbs up. I thought they did a pretty good job advancing some storylines. What does the chat room say? What do you give it, a thumbs up? So we have 2 thumbs up over here. I'm looking at the Twitter poll. It's 59% thumbs up. So that went down.
It went down a little bit. Okay. Down. Which actually that's kind of is expecting more. Just again, due to circumstances.
Yeah.
I would think it was automatically a thumbs down, but
so chat room, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know. Daniel Shaw gave it a down.
I knew Daniel would.
Initiator, Cole and JBL were night and day better than Phillips and Saxon. Sorry, Vic. Well, I agree with that. But Victoria just doesn't like hearing his voice, but he's a good commentator. You have to say JBL's good.
Yes, he's a good commentator, but he's a bully. He should not be allowed to work. If you're a bully, you should not be allowed to work. He's a bully.
Jamel just brought up a great point. Joey Styles. You don't know Joey Styles that well. He was the ECW announcer that they brought up, and they bullied the balls off him. No. He punched JBL in the face
because JBL's a bully.
Him. Yeah, that's great. What a great
I will never forgive him for what he did to Morona. I will never forgive him.
And the same thing with what's his face, Corey Graves.
Corey Graves, yeah.
As well. I hate.
No, they're bullies.
I do not like Corey Graves.
They are bullies.
Billy Hefner gives it a thumbs up. Corey Howell gives it a thumbs up. Richard Elon gives it a thumbs up. Jamel, thumbs up. Quentin, thumbs up. Andrew, thumbs up for the show, but Vince doing live shows, thumbs down. Very good one. I like that. Michael Jewell, thumbs up. Goosey, I did not watch. Mashoon, thumbs up. Nafis gives it a thumbs up. So, consensus, we like the show. All right, so I think we're gonna bring this puppy in for a landing. We are over the hour-and-a-half mark, which is like probably one of the longest. This is probably one of the longest post-Raw shows that we've ever done.
Really?
I would say so. We never go this long.
We've done an hour-and-a-half before.
Initiator gives it a thumbs up. Initiator gives a thumbs up for the review, not the show. Thank you, Initiator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway. So if you did not see it yesterday, Doug Lackey had returned with Wrestleview Weekly. So make sure you check that out. He did a very extensive overhaul of the milk carton, which is crazy. I will be back on Saturday for Wrestleview news with Mr. Jerome Weiland.
Thank you, Jerome.
Thank you, Jerome, for everything you did again. So make sure you check that out on Saturday. Doug will be back with Wrestleview Weekly this Sunday, and we will be back. And we got it. So really, it's post Raw 79, but we have a lost show, so we'll never see it. Post Raw 78 will be back next week. We're looking forward to it. And yeah,
stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Stay safe.
Wash your hands. Stay indoors.
Turn the page. Wash your hands.
Oh, that's Rocco's Modern Life.
Turn the page.
Filbert.
Wash your hands.
Filbert. Anyway, I'm Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco, the mother of Liliana Tedesco.
That's right. I'm the dad, too. I did something. Have a great week, everybody.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.